interrupt your shitty viewership to bring you a review of Municipal Waste's new album, Electrified Brain! Imagine the Frankenstein monster if it were metal. That would be Municipal Waste, because this is the first Municipal Waste album since 2017 Slime and Punishment, and the last Rager EP, which came out afterwards, and I like to say that this is better than both of them. Municipal Waste. Can't really go wrong with them. In short, if you like Municipal Waste, you will like this album. Because Municipal Waste, in a world where all music wants to sing about pessimism and negativity and twerk that ass, Municipal Waste is here to talk about fun and good times and mutants and, you know, all sorts of other cool stuff of the fictional variety that they come up with. Because let's face it, it is a waste to not listen to Municipal Waste. Every time a city truck comes by that says the words Municipal Waste on it, you're not thinking about trash day. No, you're thinking about the metal. And let's face it, metal, if it were a food, it would rival pizza in its tastiness. Tasty, tasty metal. And that is what I just got a dose of before filming this video. The best time to do a video is after you've listened to a great dose of metal, and that's what Municipal Waste gave us. First of all, I want to say that 14 songs, it doesn't overstay its welcome. Appropriately paced, appropriately sequenced, great production, you can hear all the instruments, and everybody sounds really good. Everybody sounds at the top of their game. There's a great energy going on, even with the guest vocalists, such as Blain from The Accused and Barney from Napalm Death. Yes! I love Napalm Death. Is that right? Municipal Waste were considered pioneers of the new wave of American thrash metal back in the early 2000s, and here they adhere to as much of that sound as they do the old school sounds. There are a lot of songs that would fit pretty well on an old DRI record or an old Death Angel record. For instance, there are the cymbal fade outs. You know, you don't really hear a lot of that in new thrash metal. But also, you know, there are the electric guitar flourishings at the beginning of songs, like, say, Barreled Rage. You know, the song starts up and then there's a lead guitar solo and then it goes into the verse. It kind of reminds me of an old Judas Priest song, you know, like One Shot at Glory. Let's see, you know, you got really cool lyrical contents, which, when you get a Municipal Waste album, you pretty much know what you're going to get musically. It's crossover thrash metal, and it's pretty fun. You know, there are a lot of gang vocals. It's all about having a good time, but where the albums differ are in the concepts. You know, the concepts and the lyrical matters. For instance, Gravedive, which was played on their last tour, by the way. Gravedive is about digging up the corpses of old Municipal Waste fans and throwing them off the stage to crowd surf. Not a stage dive, a grave dive. Oh, let's see, what else? There's 10 Cent Beer Night, which is about the infamous 1970s sports event. Let's see, there's Crank the Heat, which is about, you know, it's either about going to festivals or it's a seasonal song. You know, being cooped up in the winter. Crank the heat! You know what I mean? You know, there's Putting on Airs, which, you know, it's a play on words. Putting on Airs is probably the most musically interesting song on the album because of the call and response vocal parts and the call and response guitar solos. And the theme of the song basically is, hey, we're fuck-ups, but we'd rather be fuck-ups than be what society deems acceptable and normal and, you know, respectable. I identify with those lyrics. But ultimately, Municipal Waste, they're doing what they do best. And it's refreshing after years in the making to get an album like this, because ever since the pandemic, we've been hearing a lot of, you know, oh, the world's gonna end, blah, 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 kaboom, 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 oh, the government sucks, blah, blah, blah. Nah, Municipal Waste isn't interested in that. They're interested in mutants and, you know, zombies and janitors and stuff like that. You know, having a good time. They like to drink beer, and maybe that's why people identify with them so much even now. You know, because we want to get away from that shit. I'll tell you, when I saw Municipal Waste back in December 2021, the mosh pit in that venue, I've never seen it any bigger. They played Sadistic Magician and the whole room just went into a big old circle pit. So you know how Municipal Waste sometimes likes to create these characters and these overarching stories that take place over the course of several albums? Well, you know, here, on the last song on the album, it's called Paranormal Janitor, which goes back to Municipal High from the early albums, you know? So if you're into that kind of thing, it's nice little trivia for Municipal Waste. I mean, that's part of the appeal of Municipal Waste is, you know, the different worlds that they create within the songs. The cheesy stuff they come up with, the comic book stuff they come up with. It's like watching a trauma movie, but listening to it in metal form. I would like to say that the lead guitar work and the solo work is great. Great chops, great skills, very melodic, very musical. And, you know, the notes aren't there for no reason. Clearly some thought went into the solos, and that's where I'd like to give a highlight. As far as where this album ranks on the scale of best and worst Municipal Waste albums, I would say Electrified Brain doesn't quite beat Waste 'Em All, because Waste 'Em All is a pretty hard album to beat to begin with, but it's better than the last couple. So, I do wish that it had the ambition of The Fatal Feast, which was pretty much entirely based in space, but you know what? It's a fun album. We needed a fun album, and Municipal Waste delivered. I mean, hey, I'm still hyped up from listening to it an hour ago. They even made long boxes for this album, and for those who don't know what a long box is... It's a CD box that is long. Not a short box, not a narrow box, a long box. Anyway, I've got about 5 videos I've shot that need to be edited. I'm also trying to organize another live stream, and I've got a video coming up on And Justice for Art Live. So stay tuned for that. I've also got some Killbot patches available for anybody who wants them off of my Bandcamp or wants to message me in my social media DMs and buy them directly from me if you have PayPal or Venmo. Anyway, thank you very much, and grind on!